Well, hello there, good people. It's Sharon again. That's Sharon, not Jane. The heck am I talking about, Jane? Well, it's been kind of breezy and it's been kind of humid, and look what it's done in my hair. Okay, that has nothing to do with this video per se, but I look like I've been out swinging in the jungle. Oh well. And I just shampooed it and treated it this morning, and it doesn't make any difference. Oh well, what can you say? Does that tie in with what I want to say today? Well, maybe a little. For those of you who know me well, yeah, I'm transitioning. I'm almost completely transitioned. Every legal document I've got, everything, my bank records, my social security, everything says I'm Sharon, and I'm a woman. Now, there's a little restaurant that myself and some friends used to go to. It's not really that little, it's pretty good size. And I love the place. It's got kind of a 50s, 60s feeling to it, but modernized. So it doesn't really look like you went into an old diner by any means. Modernized. It's in Akron, and it's right where one of the roads hit Route 8. It's not Facebook. Might have some similar initials, but I'm not going to tell you the name per se. Anyhow, myself, my best friends, her parents, a lot of us, there's usually about 6 of us all together. Sometimes there's as many as 8. Always at least 5. Have gone there for breakfast for years. And I love it. It's the best breakfast I've got in a restaurant, even though I keep it pretty simple. Well, a lot of the folks with me decided they liked another restaurant for breakfast better. So every Saturday morning, instead of going to the FB maybe place, we've been going to that one. Okay? It's a few miles away. What it is, doesn't matter. I like the first one better. I like the decor. I like the people. Most of all, I like the food better. I don't get anything too extravagant, but I get basically the same thing almost every time, no matter where we go for breakfast. I thought they were going to be really good and really kind about this because we've been going there for well over 10 years. Guess what? That covers a lot of my transition time, outward transition time. And one morning, when we were there and some of the others hadn't arrived yet, or just left, I forget which, who I believe to be is the manager, she said, you know, we know what your friends are calling you, but we also know that that's probably not what you want to be called. What do you want us to call you? I said, well, as of this point in time, my legal name is Sharon. I'm Sharon. They said, okay. And they've called me Sharon ever since. Now, even though we don't go there for breakfast, I frequently go there during the week. I go with a friend of mine. Sometimes I go by myself. Once in a while, my sister and her boyfriends come along, and we've had a good time. And we've had a good meal. But she has told me multiple times, well, I have a lot of gay friends. I have transgender friends. I know about it. I get along with everybody great. And everybody's treated me really nice. However, I had to go in and use the restroom one day. I walked in, and this wasn't all that long ago. It's been a few months. I walked in the ladies' room because I'm a lady. I've had things done. I've got the documentation. I'm a lady. I can't help it what I used to be. Okay? It's easy to check out. It's verify. I have documents that I carry in my purse that will show you I'm a lady. and I used the ladies' room. And when I came out, she called me over to the side. The person I was meeting wasn't there yet. She chewed me out pretty good. She said, "You can't use that restroom." I said, "Then what am I supposed to do?" She said, "Use the men's room." Well, wait a friggin' minute. Use the men's room? I'm not a man. I haven't been accused of being called a man for years. Well, that's what you got to do. I said, "I can show you my driver's license. I can show you several other things that says I'm a woman." "Nope, don't care. You can't use it. You got to use the men's room." Well, what about the fact that I look like this? I've got lipstick and earrings and my longer hair, and I got some other attributes down here too that clearly say woman. And yeah, those are mine, by the way. I know they are. I grew them. But nonetheless, she wanted me to use the men's room because she remembered from years before when I did, when I was supposed to. And I said, "But I go in looking like this. People don't like it. I have been threatened if I go into a men's room. I have been harassed. I've been given a bad time. People don't give me a bad time when I go in a ladies' room because look at me. That's where I belong." Not everybody thinks that because they know my history. But if you didn't know my history, I don't think too many people would even question it. Nevertheless, I told her, I said, "Well, how am I supposed to come here? How do you go to a restaurant and not be able to use a restroom? You have to once in a while. Not every time." She says, "Well, what do you think the owner would say if somebody complained about you using the ladies' room?" I said, "Has everybody ever done that?" "Oh, no, they haven't." "But what if they do? What do you think he'd say?" I said, "I've seen him once or twice, but I don't know the gentleman. I really don't. I have no idea what he would say. Why don't you ask him?" "Nope, she's not going to do that." I said, "Well, this just doesn't work because I can't come to my favorite restaurant with my favorite breakfast." By the way, they got a pretty mean meatloaf too, if you like that, which I do. They have some other stuff that's pretty good. But nonetheless, I almost always get the breakfast because I enjoy it so much. I said, "What happens if I need to use a restroom? I can't come in here and sit down and order my breakfast or lunch or anything else if I can't use a restroom. And you're telling me I can't use the ladies' room, and it's more than obvious that I can't use a men's room. I get threatened." "Well, you can't do it. What would the owner say?" "Ask him." I've only been there one time since then. I went home and I looked, and here there's 4 of those restaurants, which I wasn't aware of. I knew there were 2. There's 4. I wrote a letter to the owner, and I addressed it to the restaurant I usually go to. It's the only one I knew of. I don't know his home address. Don't want it. And I sent a letter, and it didn't really say inside how to contact me. But it did have the information. There's people there that had known me for some time. And it did have my return address on the envelope. If anybody cared, they could have got hold of me without any problem. But nobody did. And it's been 3 or 4 months now, and I haven't been to my favorite restaurant to get my favorite meal because the manager says I can't use a bathroom. I don't think they'd be happy if I put it on the floor next to the checkout counter. I never threatened that. I wouldn't do it. But nonetheless, I don't think they'd care for that a lot. they've lost business. They've lost a customer that's been in at least once a week for years. We're not talking 1 or 2 years. We're talking 7, 8, 9 years. They've lost that customer. And they've lost the people that come in with that customer because they remember what I used to be. And despite the fact that they're telling me how wonderful and great it is and how many people like me they know, I'm not buying it. And I can't go to a restaurant where I can't once in a while use a restroom. So if you recognize them, give them a hard time. Don't be mean, don't be nasty, but say, hey, you know what? We were going to come here and we walked in and we know you won't let Sharon use a restroom. What if they won't let somebody else use the restroom? Maybe they're just guessing, maybe they're wrong, maybe they've been told, but they're making assumptions of what still is versus what used to be. Not very happy about it. Nothing I can do about it except go to another restaurant, which I have been doing on an average of once a week for several months now. And they're not as good. They're not bad. They're not as good. But it's where I go. Anyway, what do you do about it? Don't know. Just my opinion. If you will, it's some food for thought. Take care.